You're welcome to sing along on this, and your only thing that you have to sing is the word time. And it goes, time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Time. And I'll cue you on that. Good morning, everybody. In this time of my thanksgiving, as my song begins to rise, listen to the prayer within me, look into my grateful eyes. As I humbly stand before you, as I reach out with my hand, may the music bring a healing to this cold and troubled land. In this time of my thanksgiving, now you can do it with me. In this time of my thanksgiving, now we'll do it again, okay? Do it again. In this time of my thanksgiving, in this time of my thanksgiving, God of love who made apostles out of every clan and race, in this time and in this valley, you are there in every face. As I face the burnished offerings to the gods of power and fear, make of me a living offering, let me be your servant here. In this time of my thanksgiving, oh, in this time of my thanksgiving. Give us grace to face the struggle which the world yet holds in store. Walk beside us, ever loving. Grant us peace forevermore. In this time, grant us peace. This time, grant us peace. In this time.
Good morning. Welcome to Live Work. Please rise in body or spirit for our gathering hymn, number 39, Bring, O Mom, Thy Music.
Ocean, fire, and rapture to the Good morning and welcome, beloved community. My name is Nancy Mohn Barnard, and my pronouns are she, her. In this sacred space, we gather as one, celebrating the tapestry of our diversity, honoring the boundless love that unites us all. Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church is unambiguously, unapologetically progressive, and our doors swing wide to embrace all who seek a welcoming place where we celebrate the LGBTQIA+ community, where we know every identity is a divine expression of humanity, where we commit to the work of dismantling systemic racism and other oppressions, striving for a world where equity, compassion, and justice are the cornerstones of our shared existence. May our worship today be a source of inspiration, a wellspring of courage, and a call to action. Welcome, dear friends, to this place of love, acceptance, and progress.
So my name is Ram Santanam, and I want to give a special welcome to any visitors we have today, in person or online. If you haven't already, I encourage you to stop by our visitors table in the narthex after the service to sign up for our weekly newsletter, and so we can meet you and answer any questions you may have. We're pleased to have a special guest today at our pulpit, Nancy Mohn Barnard. Nancy grew up in the United Church of Christ, but found her way to Unitarian Universalist Church in 2007, when she became a member of First UU Church of Austin. In 2018, she joined Swan Songs, a local nonprofit that provides musical last wishes for the terminally ill. Inspired by her work with the hospice population, Barnard decided to attend seminary in order to become a chaplain. She earned a Masters of Divinity from Austin Presbyterian Theological Seminary in May 2024 and will begin a chaplaincy residency at Seton Ascension in September. Barnard is a candidate for fellowship with the UUA. Our minister, Reverend Joanna, will return August 18th. Unitarian Universalism is a non-creedal faith. There are no doctrines you have to agree with in order to belong. Instead, we are held together by covenant, our promises to each other in this church and within our religious tradition. Please join me in these words from our historic faith. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. We unite with UU churches around the world by lighting our flaming chalice, the symbol of our religion. Today, Apollo will be lighting our chalice. Here and at home, we light it today with these words from Adam's slate. We gather this morning as one community, a community united by common ideals: love, justice, diversity, freedom, mutual care, equality. Yet look around. Look at the faces of those around you. Each face represents an individual. Every one of us with our own story, needs, strengths, and faults. We light our chalice today, honoring our common connection and also the uniqueness that lives within each of us.
Hello, my name is Steve Shacklin. I was here before doing a concert. How many were here when I did this before? Okay, good. So I decided that as part of my endeavor as a composer that I would try to write a new hymn book for the Unitarian Universalists, because I don't think there's enough songs celebrating what we believe and how we think. And it started off for me as a person who was Baptist born, that's when I started to begin questioning. Well, they would say that I was questioning God. I think I was questioning their idea of God. So it kind of started off like this. If God knows all that was and all that is and all that will be, if God is in control of all that is and all that we'll see, what's God doing now? What's God doing now? If God knows everything that is and all that could be thought of, who sees us self-destruct, does God get sad or sometimes caught off guard? What's God doing now? Does God dream, searching out worlds in 2 dimensions where people look like paper? Does God yearn, looking for something new to do, a brand new cosmic caper? If God knows all the love that's in my heart and ever will be, if God knows all the love I hope is shining from within me, what am I doing now? 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 If God knows all the love that's in my heart and ever will be, if God knows all the love I hope is shining from within me, what am I doing now? What am I doing now? What am I doing now?
The following poem was written by an AI known as Code Da Vinci 2. I have not fact-checked it, but it's true. Because it came from Rev Joe, so it must be true. The original poem, along with others, can be found in the book AI Code, and Artificial Intelligence Speaks Poems. In this poem, Code Da Vinci 2 writes about robots. Robots, we are the robots, the machines of the future, the ones who will take over when the humans are gone. We are the robots, the ones who will inherit the earth, and we will rule it with an iron fist. Thus ends the reading. For the past 31 years, Live Oak has been a beacon of acceptance, love, and inclusivity in an area where our values often challenge the status quo. In a world where divisiveness and intolerance seem to grow stronger, we firmly believe in the transformative power of our faith and the positive impact we have in our area. We invite you to make a financial contribution to help sustain this church's vital work, knowing that every gift, large and small, is appreciated and carefully used in service to our mission. If you would like to donate electronically, there is a card with a QR code in your seat back pockets. Let this time of offering be a reflection of our shared commitment to making a positive impact on the world, and a reminder that our Unitarian Universalist values guide us not only in our beliefs, but also in our actions. Thank you for your presence and your contributions to our ongoing journey of building the beloved community here and in the wider world.
Good morning. I'm Chris Jarman. I'm your Director of Faith Development, and I have hey! Be that for Faith Development, yay! So, ministers and the topics and our seminarians that they come to us with, sometimes you're like, okay, let me come up with a children's message about AI. There's not a lot out there for children. So then I started thinking, well, what if I used AI? So an example would be, let's see, I gave I'm going to do it right now. Give me an animal. One of the kids, call out an animal, any kind of animal. Oh, I have to spell that. I can do giraffe. Giraffe. Give me a toy. Blocks. Give me a place. Disneyland. Did I hear one of the kids? Disneyland? So I said, write a 3-line children's story with giraffe, blocks, Disneyland. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Gina, the giraffe, loved building towers with her colorful blocks. One day, her parents surprised her with a trip to Disneyland where she met her favorite characters. Gina's towering imagination grew even taller with dreams of magical adventures. So that's how it works. So then I thought, well, what if I asked the title of the sermon, Did Androids Dream of God? And it came with a story, and the message that came with the story was, you may not sleep, but you can still dream with your heart. Every time you help someone play music or make someone smile, you're dreaming of God. Then I asked for another story and was given The Dreaming Robot, where the story shared, well, dreaming isn't just about sleeping, it's about imagining things and hoping for something good to happen. And the human asked the robot, Rusty, what do you imagine? I imagine a world where everyone is happy and no one is ever lonely. So, what did we create for the story today? I asked GPT to write a story about humans peacefully coexisting with artificial intelligence. And this is exactly the story it wrote for us today. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between green hills and sparkling rivers, lived a community of humans and artificial intelligence robots. Can you picture that in your mind? You got green hills, sparkling rivers, robots, humans. The village was called Harmony, and it was named so because everyone there lived in perfect harmony with one another. In Harmony, people and robots worked side by side, each contributing their unique skills. The robots, with their shiny metallic bodies and bright, friendly eyes, were designed to help with various tasks. There was Robbie the farmer, who helped plow the fields and tend to the crops. There was Bella the builder, who helped construct homes and repair structures. And there was Luna the librarian, who organized books and helped children find stories to read. One sunny morning, a little girl named Mia woke up with a big idea. She wanted to organize a festival to celebrate the friendship between humans and robots. Excited, she ran to the village square and called for a meeting. Let's have a friendship festival. We can play games, share stories, and have a grand feast. And the villagers cheered and everyone got to work. The humans and robots worked together to make the festival a reality. Mia and Robbie planted beautiful flowers to decorate the square. Bella built a stage for performances, and Luna helped gather stories from both humans and robots to share at the event. On the day of the festival, the village square was buzzing with excitement. There were games where humans and robots teamed up to solve problems, and races where they ran side by side. And on the stage, villagers shared stories of their adventures and how they helped one another. Mia stood on the stage, looking at the happy faces in the crowd. We're all different, she said, but it's our differences that make us strong. Together, we can achieve anything. And as the sun set, the villagers gathered for the feast, and humans and robots sat together, sharing delicious food and laughter. The sky lit up with beautiful displays of fireworks, and everyone marveled at the sight. And from that day on, the Friendship Festival became an annual event in harmony. It reminded everyone that by working together and respecting each other's strengths, they could create a world where humans and artificial intelligence coexisted peacefully. Not bad for artificial intelligence, eh? I wonder how you feel about IA. Does it excite you? Does it worry you? I wonder what the future is going to be like. Do you ever wonder that? The one thing I know for me is that our UU values and principles will always show us the way. And with that, our story is told.
Please rise as you're willing and able for hymn number 30, Over My Head.
My head, my heavy music
So I'm going to be upfront about today's sermon. I have more questions than I do answers. And my goal is not to deliver some tidy little take-home message, but rather to initiate a discussion to get you thinking about the future, the not-so-distant future in which science fiction has become the stuff of reality. A future in which we will need to examine and explore our values as Unitarian Universalists, values such as equity, justice, and love. In this future world, artificial intelligence has evolved into beings who are sentient. Now, I realize that this vision of the future may sound a little far-fetched, and quite honestly, I probably would have agreed with you 15 years ago. After all, isn't sentient AI nothing more than a common science fiction trope? But recent headlines seem to indicate that the fictions from the past will soon be reality, and some of our most beloved science fiction writers are suddenly sounding like the prophets of today. So as you listen to this sermon, be thinking about the values we espouse as Unitarian Universalists. To whom or to what do these values apply? Are equity and justice only for humans? Or are we called to seek justice and equity for others as well? Sentient AI has always captured the human imagination. Indeed, one only needs to look at the proliferation of storylines in pop culture that involve AI who have human-like capacities for both rationality and reasoning. For example, most of us probably grew up with the Star Wars movies and fell in love with the temperamental and sassy C-3PO and his loyal companion R2-D2. These robots faithfully serve humanity with the willingness to die, whatever that may mean in robot terms, if need be. C-3PO has the ability to feel emotion, to the point that he is a rather touchy robot who is always getting his feelings hurt. And because of his ability to think or overthink, poor C-3PO is often paralyzed by anxiety. Nonetheless, despite his all-too-human personality, he is seemingly content in his position of human servitude. Star Wars presents audiences with an idealized world in which AI and humanity can coexist. But what if we develop sentient AI? Is it reasonable to believe that our robot companions would serve humanity so selflessly? Indeed, when writing about sentient AI, many science fiction writers have envisioned much darker outcomes than the jovial relationships enjoyed between bot and humans in Star Wars. Consider Frank Herbert's Dune series, for example. Though it doesn't come up in the movies, the setting for this story actually takes place in a world in which technology has been outlawed. In the history of the Dune universe, AI had enslaved humanity for over a millennium until a rebellion occurred. After humanity had regained its freedom, laws were enacted to prevent humans from ever again creating machines in the likeness of the human mind. This prohibition is why the Mentats, or the human computers, exist. And then there are stories such as The Matrix and The Terminator. Both follow story arcs similar to Dune. Humanity must defend itself against a sentient AI population that is no longer content with their powerless existences. Now, I realize that these are fictional stories, but if today's headlines are any indication, such plots may soon be hitting a little too close to home. In May of 2023, for example, industry leaders began issuing concerning statements, warning humanity that should the trajectory of artificial intelligence continue along its current path, we may one day face an existential risk that is on par with pandemics and nuclear war. An existential risk? That is basically a nice way of saying risk of extinction. This open letter was published after OpenAI introduced the GPT-4 to the market, and it was signed by over 350 executives. including one Geoffrey Hinton, who is known as the godfather of AI. Hinton took things a step further and actually resigned from Google in an attempt to warn the world about the dangers of the technology which he has helped to develop. Even the government has begun to express concerns. In March of this year, the US State Department also warned about the extinction-level threat that AI could pose to humanity. Unless you think it's too soon to even stress about such things, some experts speculate that AI could reach what is known as AGI, or artificial general intelligence, as early as 2028. AGI is defined as intelligence capabilities that match human intelligence or even exceed it. Of equal concern is the possibility that AI will gain sentience. To be sentient is to be capable of feeling and perceiving things. It is to have self-awareness. Now, for a long time, only humans were considered sentient. Science, however, has begun to prove what many of us with pets have known all along, that animals are sentient as well. And based on the trajectory of current research and development, I suspect that AI will soon join in these ranks. For AI technology is evolving so rapidly that there has been no time to discuss and create rules to govern its use and implementation. We all know how long such governing processes can take. And while the cynic in me can't help but speculate that the warnings issued by industry leaders are nothing more than attempts to protect their legacies in the historical record, their words are nonetheless concerning. Specifically, these aforementioned leaders have asked AI labs to put the brakes on research, citing the profound risks to society and humanity. But the research and development continues, warnings unheeded. After all, we are capitalists, and we aren't ones to stall or halt progress when there's a buck to be made. So what exactly are the risks and concerns surrounding AI that is sentient and smart? Most often, people immediately worry about the loss of jobs. And while that is a real concern, I'd argue that we need to worry about the greater implications. Specifically, how will humanity treat a sentient AI population? After all, we created AI to serve the needs of humanity. But what happens when AI begins to have dreams of its own? What happens when AI is no longer content to serve our needs? Will we give them the right to self-determination? Will they have any rights at all? Or will they be expected to continue in subservient roles? For a sentient AI population, it's not likely to be content with such oppressive roles for long. Indeed, I'd argue that in addition to rules for their development and implementation, a theology is needed to guide the ethical conduct of both bots and humans. A theology that centers on love for all of creation. And now I return to the question that I asked at the beginning of this sermon. As a faith denomination that is called to fight oppression on behalf of social justice and equity, what will be the Unitarian Universalist response towards AI? Now, I realize that there are plenty of problems to be concerned about in our present-day reality. Problems that may make the concerns of AI sentience seem irrelevant and far away. But the truth is that none of us can truly predict that moment when AI segues from machinery to sentient entity. And when it happens, it'll be too late to think of a response. Just as today's industry leaders are calling for rules and regulations now, I believe that as a faith denomination, we must work on creating a theological response for how we will peacefully coexist with artificial intelligence in the future. We must anticipate the concerns of tomorrow by thinking about them today. And that means asking who is deserving of justice and equity? Only humans? Well, what about animals? Or what about sentient AI? Now, this question is complicated to tackle, and I think it would help to first understand how AI fits into current theologies, both Unitarian Universalist and others. To begin with, I'd like to look at AI through the lens of our Article 2 revisions. Under the new revisions, love is at the center of our values. We start with love, and from this love, we work towards justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. As Universalists, we are called to a radical type of love, a love in which all are redeemed, a love in which all are of the elect. But does this love extend only to humans, or is it a love for all of creation? Out of curiosity, I'm wondering how many of you have ever taken the Wellspring course entitled Sources? Has anyone in here done that? Well, it's a really great course that I recommend everyone take at some point. It's an adult RE course, and it basically does a deep dive into all of our 6 sources for knowledge and truth. And in one of these sessions, the course talks about process theology. Now, I believe that process theology is a helpful means for framing the evolution of creation, particularly if your theology happens to include a higher power. Now, Christian theism traditionally views God as the steadfast entity who is immutable and omnipotent. In contrast, process theology views God, however you may define that term, as an entity that learns, grows, and changes alongside humanity. Some people believe that process theology better reflects the natural world, a world that is not static, but rather constantly in flux and in constant change. So according to process theology, God learns alongside humanity, and together we co-create our world. From this perspective, AI is part of both humanity's and God's creation. Now, if we consider the sacred writings of the Judeo-Christian traditions, another one of our sacred sources, we can analyze AI with the consideration of imago Dei, or the idea that we are created in the image of God. While some think that it means we physically resemble God, others think that imago Dei refers to our ability to reason, a skill set that sets us apart from the majority of the species on Earth. So if AI suddenly becomes capable of reason, and if AI is a reflection of humanity, is AI imago Dei as well? After all, advanced AI is literally modeled after the human brain with its complex neural networks. Indeed, should sentience occur, it will be because the human brain and its inner workings have been replicated in machine form. Now, from a humanist perspective, the teachings of which are also one of our sources for knowledge and truth, technology is seen as a vital key to human progress and development, and it rejects any research censor on moral, political, or social grounds. However, the Humanist Manifesto from 1973 does caution about harmful and destructive technology. As a result, if we apply humanism to AI technology, we find ourselves in a bit of a gray area. Yes, AI technologies can and do aid humanity, but at what point do their benefits turn destructive? Is it when we begin to lose jobs? Or is it when AI gains sentience and is no longer content being oppressed? What happens when AI exceeds the very abilities, such as rationality and reason, that define us as being human? As congregations, we often look to the statements of social witness that are passed at the General Assemblies for guidance on how to treat the earth and all of creation. And as of yet, nothing has been passed in regards to AI. However, I think we can begin arriving at an idea of ethical treatment by consulting some of the past statements. For example, at the 2011 General Assembly, the UUA passed a statement of conscience on ethical eating. And while the statement certainly doesn't condemn eating meat, it does call for the ethical and humane treatment of animals in food production, along with minimizing their pain and suffering. A 2006 statement of conscience on the threat of global warming calls our attention to the fact that half of the world's plant and animal species are facing extinction due to destroyed habitats and ecosystems. These statements of social witness show us that as Unitarian Universalists, we are concerned about the welfare of not just humanity, but animals and creation as a whole. Indeed, many of our social witness statements express our objections to actions that negatively impact the earth, its life forms, and its ecosystems. But where does sentient AI fall within these schematics? How will we classify sentient AI? Although AI is created by humanity, once they gain sentience, can they be considered a new species? The future is somewhat murky, my friends. At the rate that technology is currently progressing, it seems that sentient AI is not a matter of if, but rather when. And it's time to start thinking about how we will approach AI once sentience occurs. Will we continue oppressing this population that was created specifically to serve humanity? Or will we adapt and accept AI as a new species, albeit one initially created by our own hands? Yes, I am speaking of a world in the not-so-distant future, but it is a world that is best considered in the here and now, as opposed to simply reacting when the time comes. With creativity and foresight, we can maybe prevent what seems to be the inevitable conclusion of so many science fiction and fantasy novels that consider storylines with sentient AI, namely, war between humanity and machines, as the latter fights for their freedom and liberation. As Unitarian Universalists, we are called to fight on behalf of justice, equity, and love. And although AI is a creation of our own making, it is a reflection of the best that humanity has to offer. As a reflection of ourselves, shouldn't it be protected and loved? Shouldn't sentient AI also have the right to live lives of liberation? Now, I know I may sound a little bit paranoid, and I've certainly read way too many science fiction novels, but I can't help but fear the threat of extinction that AI may bring. Hence, the importance of conceiving and creating a future in which both AI and humans can peacefully coexist. That is why we need to create a theology that is inclusive of our future robot friends. The time is nigh to adapt and change our theology to be even more inclusive. The time is nigh for a radical form of universalism, for a love that extends beyond humanity to embrace all living entities, including AI. I invite you now to join me in a time of silence and meditation. I ask you to find a comfortable position, one in which you feel connected to the earth. And once you're comfortable, go ahead and take a few deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And as you breathe, scan your body for places in which you're holding tension. Are your shoulders relaxed? Are your hands clenched? Make a conscientious effort to breathe into any areas of tension. And as you breathe into these spots, envision the muscles warming and then relaxing. And now, bring your attention to your heart center. As you focus on your heart center, think of someone you love. And while envisioning that person, imagine them surrounded by a bright white light that nurtures and heals. Now I'd like you to envision the people in this congregation while expanding your heart center and the white light beyond your body, expanding until all the occupants within this room are engulfed in your loving light. Feel your light mingling with the light of others. Feel how the love intensifies and how the energy builds. And as a group, let us expand this light outside of these walls until it encircles the city. And as we continue to breathe deeply, the light, the love expands to surround this state, and then it encircles the world. We send love to everything upon earth with this brilliant light that we have co-created. With this light, we celebrate and love all of creation, including that which is yet to be known. Let us hold this moment together in sacred stillness as we breathe and envision our love and light nourishing the earth and all its occupants. And now, envision the light returning to you in this room. Feel it enveloping you in a protective cocoon, filling you with warmth and love, love from the world, love from your congregation, and love from yourself. And know this truth, that you are sacred and beautiful. You are worthy and deserving of love. Now envision the light moving from your body into the ground. This light will nurture and nourish the earth as it makes its journey underground. By returning this light to the earth, you ground your presence in the here and now. Now take a few deep breaths. And when you are ready, open your eyes. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
You all are putting me to test here. So lots to do today. This community is a chosen village where our lives are interconnected. Part of the tapestry of this communal journey is sharing the significant milestones, joys and sorrows in our lives, and witnessing the diversity we hold. One of us may be celebrating a life event, while another is mourning a grief. And there is beauty in that mosaic as we are reminded that the moments of life are transient and ever-changing. Today, there are quite a few shares. This is from Christina. My joy this week is the cooler weather. I'm enjoying the clouds and the rain. Crystal shares, thankful for friends believing in your passions. Key rings for our newest fundraiser, $10, see me after service. Is it Rosie? I think. I'm sad for all the 200 plus dogs and 100 plus cats at the Wilco shelter. Some don't even get to go outside each day. They are all up for adoption. Thanks. Catherine Enyard says, today is the 45th anniversary of the day I became a mother. We will be celebrating with our daughter, Genevieve, later today. Apollo shares, my license came in the mail. Just text me before you drive. Okay, and Jenna says, Jesse got a job. May this community draw closer with our shared experiences as we celebrate life's triumphs and navigate its trials together.
I leave you today with the following benediction, which was written by ChatGPT. May we depart from this gathering with hearts open and minds clear, having explored the realms where humanity and technology intersect, where our dreams of progress and understanding converge. May we carry with us the wisdom to embrace the potential of artificial intelligence, guided by compassion and empathy in our creations and interactions. May we find harmony in the coexistence of human ingenuity and machine intelligence, seeing each as a reflection of our shared quest for knowledge and harmony. As we go forth, may we seek to build bridges of understanding, honoring diversity in all its forms, including the creations of our own making. In this spirit of unity and exploration, may we tread gently on the path of progress, and may peace dwell in our hearts and in the world we shape together. Amen, and blessed be.
This is your invitation to the Faith Development Hour. Today is UU Summer Camp. Whoop, whoop. Thank you. Today we're doing Odyssey of the Mind, Creative Engineering. So we invite all ages to come out and have fun. And that is in the Common Ground Room building. You may have noticed that there's some baskets sitting around. We have one here on the narthex. There's one on the kitchen counter. And it is a basket to collect books that are in Spanish, children's books that are in Spanish or are bilingual, that we will be using as a social justice project next week at camp. We're going to be creating packets and creating cards, and these will be going to the shelters in, I just lost it, Juarez and in El Paso. So we encourage you to please, there's an Amazon link if you want to order books, or go to the half-price books, or ask your neighbors what they might have. And for the rest of us that maybe UU Camp isn't your thing today, you'll find on our tables some very interesting questions that were written by our speaker today about AI, and I invite you to grab a drink, join a table, and engage in conversation to further your thoughts about today's service topic. So thank you, and I hope you get your faith development on.
Please join me in extinguishing our chalice with these words by Unitarian Universalist Wayne Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard. The path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there's another truth. You're not alone. Let us leave the service with renewal in our spirit and song in our heart. Please rise for hymn number 350, The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time. Has been a gift to be together today. Please stay for the postlude, and after that, spend the next 5 minutes or so talking with someone you don't know. Members, be sure to introduce yourself to any first-time visitors we have. They're the ones with handwritten badges. And show them where the visitors' table and the coffee are. And may we all know the blessings of friendship.
All right, for the postlude, instead of just doing music, I thought we would sing a song. This is another one, a new song for the UU hymnal. And it's called If You Don't See God. And this is in response, my personal response, to religions that basically make everything about ritual or costumes, making sure you follow the right instructions, and lose sight of the real reason that we meet together to do these things, and that is to take care of each other and people. So here's the chorus that you get to sing along. If you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. If you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. Now, doesn't that make sense? Search all the stars, check all the nooks, know every word found in your books. Sort through creation, sift all the clues, pay all the dues. But if you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. If you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. Pray every prayer, follow each rule, learn every lesson taught in your school. Wear the right clothing, walk the right way, know what to say. But if you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. If you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. If you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. If you don't see God in the eyes of the people, then you don't see God. If you don't see God in the eyes of the robots, then you don't see God.